Imagine waking up tomorrow, looking in the mirror, and realizing you actually look taller than you did yesterday. Not because of shoes, not because of tricks, simply because your body finally learned how to stand the way it was meant to. Most people think height is something they stop having control over once they become adults, as if it were locked forever. But for many of us, gravity, tight muscles, weak posture, long hours sitting, and everyday habits quietly steal what should still be ours. The spine compresses, the shoulders roll forward, and the hips shift out of alignment. So the big question is not whether you can grow new bone. It's whether you can reclaim lost height, open the spine, create space, and stand taller at any age. Today, you're going to discover 5 simple exercises that do exactly that. And the moment you start using them, you may feel taller, lighter, and more open almost instantly. The first movement is one that surprises people because it looks simple, but it can change the entire way your upper body carries itself. Most of us spend hours leaning forward over phones and screens. Over time, the chest tightens, the shoulders round, and the back curves. This doesn't just look smaller. It actually makes the spine fold the way a ruler folds when bent. The movement that helps undo this is done standing tall against a wall. You gently place the back of your head, your upper back, and your hips against the surface. Then your arms lift like soft wings, sliding upward and downward while you keep contact with the wall. What happens isn't magic. Tight muscles begin to relax. The shoulder blades slowly learn to move where they belong, and the chest opens like a window, letting in fresh air. People often feel taller after just a few repetitions because the body remembers its original blueprint. This simple motion teaches your posture that tall is the natural position, not the forced one. The second exercise shifts attention down to the hips. Modern life trains us to sit, and sitting changes the body in sneaky ways. When the front of the hips tightens and the muscles in the back weaken, the pelvis tips forward, the stomach pushes out, and the lower back curves too deeply. That curve doesn't just bother your lower spine. It bends the entire line of posture and makes the upper body lean ahead of the legs. To undo this, we use a movement performed lying on the floor with knees bent. The feet press gently into the ground and the hips lift upward while the glute muscles tighten. It's a controlled, steady motion, not rushed. And at the top, you pause, feeling the hips realign. Over time, this exercise strengthens the muscles that hold you upright from below, like the roots of a tree that suddenly grip the earth more firmly. When the hips return toward their natural position, the spine stacks better, the belly relaxes inward, and the body stands more vertically again. It's amazing how taller someone can look when their pelvis stops tilting forward and their back finally has support. Now imagine your spine like a long chain that has been compressed all day under gravity. It doesn't want to be forced into position. It wants room. The third exercise gives it that feeling, gently and safely. Lying face down on the floor, the hands slide beneath the shoulders. With a calm push, the chest rises upward as the hips stay grounded. It feels like the body taking a slow yawn after a long nap. The front opens, the abdominal muscles stretch, and the vertebrae glide away from one another instead of pressing inward. This gentle extension reminds the spine that it is allowed to lengthen. Many people stand up afterward and realize they feel more open, as if their ribs now have space to expand when they breathe. That sensation is the opposite of compression. It is decompression, and it plays a powerful role in looking taller, moving easier, and reducing the heaviness that builds through long days. The fourth exercise takes advantage of gravity, but this time, instead of letting gravity shrink you, you use it to help lengthen you. Think of how a heavy coat stretches slightly when hung on a hook. Your spine reacts in a similar way when you carefully hang from a sturdy bar. The arms hold, the shoulders relax down, and the weight of the body creates gentle traction through the spine. There is no need to swing or strain. Just allow yourself to hang comfortably, like your body is letting go of tension that has been building for years. As you breathe, the spaces between each vertebra invite more fluid back in, making the spine feel cushioned again. People often describe this as feeling longer, looser, and calmer. In many ways, It is one of the most natural ways to undo what sitting and standing all day have done, letting gravity become your assistant rather than your enemy. Even those who cannot fully hang at first can lightly support some weight with their feet, slowly working toward more freedom over time. The fifth exercise brings everything together by encouraging the spine to move like a wave instead of a stiff pole. On hands and knees, the body moves through a slow rhythm, first gently arching upward like a stretching cat, then lowering with a soft curve as the chest lifts forward. There is no rushing. Each movement is tied to the breath. As the back rounds, stale tension releases. As it lifts, the front opens, and the spine glides through its natural motion. This simple flow wakes up segments of the spine that have been frozen from years of stillness. It lubricates the joints, nourishes the discs, and conditions the nervous system to relax. Over time, the body grows more coordinated, and the alignment becomes easier to maintain without thinking about it. When you finish, you don't feel like you forced anything. You feel like the spine remembered how to be alive again. Together, these 5 exercises create something powerful. 1 opens the chest and teaches your shoulders to live back where they belong. 1 strengthens the hips so the lower back does not carry all the burden. 1 gently decompresses the spine from the front. 1 allows gravity to stretch the body instead of crushing it. And 1 restores natural movement through every section of the spine. When practiced consistently, they do not just make you appear taller today. They retrain the way your body organizes itself every day afterward. What is interesting is that many people believe standing taller is all about confidence, while others think it is only about bones. The truth sits somewhere in the middle. When your posture improves, you breathe differently. When you breathe better, you feel calmer. When you feel calmer, your body opens naturally. These exercises are not magic tricks. They simply remove the tension, compression, and misalignment that hide your real height. The bones do not grow, but the spaces between them expand back toward what they were meant to be. The muscles that once pulled you downward begin to support you upward, and the nervous system stops guarding and starts trusting the body's upright position again. Imagine doing these movements each day for only a few minutes. At first, you may notice small changes. Your neck feels less tight. Your back doesn't ache as much at night. Your shoulders sit further away from your ears. Slowly, something bigger develops. Friends comment that you look taller or lighter. Your reflection shows a body that stands with more pride, but without forcing it. You begin to feel like gravity is not pressing you down as much. Instead, you're stacking upward, each vertebra like a block lining up again. Consistency is the secret. Results do not depend on how intense you are today, but on whether you show up tomorrow and the next day. The body adapts to what it experiences most. If it spends most of its time compressed and bent, it becomes used to being small. If it spends time opening, stretching, aligning, and supporting itself, it learns that tall is normal. And once tall becomes normal, everything from your walk, to your breathing, to your mood begins to reflect it. It is also important to listen to your body while practicing. These exercises are not meant to hurt or push to extremes. They are meant to invite the body into better positions, the way a gentle guide leads someone instead of dragging them. If something feels sharp or uncomfortable, it is a sign to back off, slow down, or adjust. The goal is not perfection. The goal is space, ease, and alignment. In the end, the idea that you can instantly become taller isn't about changing who you are. It's about releasing the layers of tension that have been pressing you downward for years. Standing taller is simply your body waking up, freeing itself from habits that no longer serve it, and returning to the shape it deserved all along. So, when you finish these 5 exercises, take a moment to stand quietly and notice. Feel your feet pressing into the ground. Feel your chest lifted. Feel your spine long and open. Notice how the world looks just a little different when you meet it from an inch higher, not because you changed your bones, but because you finally allowed your body to rise to its natural height. And the beautiful part is this: no matter your age, your schedule, or your background, your body remains adaptable. With patience, consistency, and these simple movements, you give yourself the chance to feel taller, move freer, and live inside a posture that reflects confidence instead of collapse. You don't need gadgets, expensive programs, or complicated routines. Just your body, a few minutes, and the willingness to stand taller starting today.